We are recording. Welcome to the evening of Python coding. I'm very pleased today to bring a topic that many of you wanted to hear about. We had many requests about the new technology of driverless cars. Python is a major player there, but not that many people know about that. So with some help and a lot of work, we brought you someone from one of the very known companies that does this, Motional. We have Wai-Kit Fong here. He's from Motional, and he's going to talk about a library called Newsins. And it's better that he explains this better than me, because I don't know that much. So wait, the floor is yours. Take it.
Sure. Thanks very much for the very nice introduction, Jacob. So I'm going to dive right in. Let me share my screen. Do let me know if you guys aren't able to see anything. Right. Okay. So yes. So what Jacob mentioned, I'm Wai-Kit. I'm a senior research engineer currently with Motional. And Newsins was actually one of the first few projects that I got to do when I first joined Motional. So very excited to be here talking about it. And just to give everyone a quick overview, right? So Newsins is actually like a family. So we have different verticals, different products within this family. So it started off with what you see on the left here. So this is the original Newsins. The development and the release of Newsins was led by Dr. Holger Caesar initially back in 2019. And this basically, within this original Newsins, we released 3D bounding boxes. So like what you can see in the image here, basically you have a car, and we tell you this car is bounded by a certain 3D box. Subsequently, we got feedback from users where they wanted something in terms of annotations. They wanted something denser. So, for example, they wanted to be able to not only have bounding boxes of objects that are driving around the road. They also wanted things like, for example, can you tell me where the road is? So, and this is not something that you can simply use a 3D bounding box to indicate, right? So They wanted something, so this is where we introduce new images, and this is basically and annotations with mask as well. So by mask, what you can see, for example, here, right, the road, you have this cyan-colored road here. So we are actually able to provide images where we can mask out and provide the images for roads, buildings, etc. So this enables users to use it for things like, for example, mapping, where you're not interested in just the objects themselves, but also like the surroundings, right? Like where can I drive? Where are the buildings, so I can avoid driving into them, etc. So that's why we release new images with the 2D semantic and instance mask. Subsequently, we moved into Panoptix Newsins. So that was something that I was sharing with you guys about right at the start, about that we are going to present this at iCrowd next week. And the difference between new images and Panoptix Newsins, basically, we are now moving into the 3D world. So for new images, we talked about 2D instance and semantic mask. For Panoptix Newsins, we actually go down to the point level. So in Newsins, we have 1.4 billion points. And now we are basically labeling every single point with their class labels, with their instance labels, and then we track this temporally across frames within each scene in Newsins. And besides Panoptix Newsins, we are also very excited to be soon to be releasing the next thing called NewPlan. So for NewPlan, we're expanding our offerings beyond perception. So as you can tell from Newsins, new images, and Panoptix Newsins, these are very perception-heavy data sets and dev kits that we are providing. With NewPlan, we are expanding beyond that. So we are going not only perception, but we're also going to do planning. So we're going to release a data set and a dev kit that allows users to work on motion planning with our product. So just to give a brief introduction of each vertical that we have, So like what I mentioned for Newsins, this was the original data and dev kit that was released. It started off in March 2019. So we're actually a very young family, as you can tell, about 3 years in, I guess. And at the point of release, it was the largest AV autonomous driving data set at that point in time. We have 1,000 scenes with 20 seconds being each scene. And yeah, in terms of like the sensors, we have radar, we have camera, and we have LiDAR. Huge amounts of data there, so very suitable in terms of training machine learning models, which are generally very data hungry. And across all the sensors, they are all synced and registered, and that's very important because you would when you see something in the LiDAR, you would want to have that same thing being seen in the camera. So it's very important that these are synced and registered temporally across the sensors. And within this scene, we provide huge amounts of boxes and a very diverse number of classes, so 23 classes. So not only we have things like cars and pedestrians, we even provide you annotations like ambulances. So these are very rare classes, but having this diversified variety of classes makes it very interesting and very challenging as a data set to work on. And the good news is that it's also freely available for non-commercial research. So if you want to play around with it, you want to develop models on it purely for personal use, non-commercial, it's completely free. You don't have to pay a single cent for non-commercial research. Subsequently, we also released new images, like what I mentioned. So these are boxes and masks that we release for 2D images only. So we haven't moved into the 3D realm yet for new images. A very interesting thing about this data set is we use a method called active learning to basically pick out a very diverse selection of images and rare classes. And active learning here basically is like a method that basically where a machine, I guess, kind of like figures like what is interesting and what may not be interesting, and then it and based on those picks by the algorithm, we actually select those images and annotate them to release as part of new images. And then upcoming right now, we are releasing Panoptix Newsins. And this is where we go beyond just bounding boxes. We go beyond 2D boxes. Now we focus on the 3D realm of things. So each point in a point cloud in that 3D space, right, is going to get a semantic category, which is telling you whether it's a car, a pedestrian, etc. It also gets an instance ID, and then we do this across the time, we make this consistent across temporally as well. And same thing, we provide huge amounts of data for this. So great for training machine learning models. So we have 40,000 keyframes, and we label every single point of that 1.4 billion points that we have within those scenes. And and we have tracking as well. So this is where the temporally consistent labeling in Newsins comes into play as well. So this is great for like performing applications such as tracking or maybe even like re-ID, for example, where you want to track the object as it moves through a given scene. Okay, and upcoming, which will be released sometime this year, would be NewPlan. So NewPlan is, like what I mentioned, we are moving beyond just perception. We are also going to be allowing the community to play with and to experiment and to research into planning. And we're also going to have like the world's first large-scale ML-based planning competition. We have an even bigger data set now. It's 1,500 hours of data collected across 4 cities. This makes it very interesting because the cities are not only like US, where it's driven, I think, on the left hand side of things. Do correct me if I'm wrong, but we also have like Singapore, where it's on the right hand side. So subtleties like this make for a very interesting planning competition or planning research in general.
we wanted to make it interactive. I have to ask. So you say that you have the large-scale ML-based planning competition. Do you have any time that you do it, and who can enter? Is it like someone who sits at home and wants to do something with driverless cars, or does it have to be a company, or do you have any idea? Tell us.
You don't need to be a company to join the competition. It's open to anyone with internet access, and as long you can so you can train models and then like submit it to the competition. In terms of the more specific details, do keep a lookout. I can even like send you like the details once they are firmed up, Jacob, and then you can disseminate to the Evening with Python group.
Sure. We'll be happy to broadcast it, but beyond that, it's like I'm asking because our audience usually it's like some people who just want to do new things with Python. If they are beginners, is there any chance for them to learn things enough to participate in the competition, or is it for experts that know what they're doing?
No, I think even for beginners, it would be definitely possible to participate in a competition. One of the things that we plan would be to provide like baseline models for the planner. So as a beginner, you could possibly take those baselines and tweak it, or try different things, and and use that as like your seed to make a submission to the competition.
Perfect. So we were looking for details. Please do send them my way the minute, and I'll make sure that this is broadcast. Thank you.
Oh, sure thing. And so that was like a very quick overview of the history of Newsins, and also like the family members that we have within Newsins. So I'm going to jump into the demo next. But at this point in time, if any questions, do feel free to ask. Of course, you can ask me anytime during the whole demo as well. Any questions for now? Okay, I guess then we can jump into
people are timid at this point. It's like so the minute people start asking questions, they're overwhelmed with this. So it's like give them a second, a bit more. Silas, is there anything on the chat? Someone wrote a question, maybe?
No questions in the chat, just notes from Sherry.
Okay. Well, Sherry keeps notes usually on what we're doing. She's one of our regulars.
That's very nice.
Okay, go on. People jump in. Please do jump in. Way's very nice for and he'll try to answer your question quickly. But the important part was for the competition. I'm curious about this. I'll try to help you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in fact, talking about the competition, we actually have ongoing competitions as well. If you want to dip your toes into something, maybe I can do a bit of a digress and show you.
Yes, please. We don't have to follow the script.
Oh yeah, totally. I like that. It's super casual. Okay. Sorry. I think the
it's okay. It happens. I like the owl.
Yeah, it's so cute. The website is not done by us, but it's this platform called Eval AI. It's kind of like a Kaggle-like platform. If anyone has done Kaggle before, so very machine learning competition-based kind of platform. So we host our challenges there. Let me.
So you have challenges that people can participate?
Yes, yeah, exactly. So these challenges are actually all year round. So there is no timing that you have to look out for. You can just jump in and make a submission and see how you perform on the leaderboard. Right. So basically we organize basically a multitude of challenges throughout the year. And this don't really have any time frame. So you can come in anytime you want and actually join these challenges. So we have like 5 different challenges ongoing at the moment. Our most popular one being the nuisance detection challenge. This was the original challenge that we released with the original nuisance dataset as well. So in this challenge, basically, the task is to predict 3D bounding boxes and basically see how well that matches up with the ground truth that we have in a hidden test set that is stored on our servers. So very popular one here in terms of detection. And of course, the two challenges that are related to the ones that will be to Panoptix Newsins, which we will be releasing, which we have released and will be presenting at ICRA next week, would be the Panoptix segmentation and tracking challenge here, and then of course the LiDAR segmentation challenge. So yeah, totally look forward to seeing submissions from you guys soon if you're interested in participating.
And you're saying that some of those are useful for beginners, and beginners can learn the tools for them to start learning how to do this?
Totally, yeah. So for all of them, they could be suitable for beginners, depending on what. I think it's more of like which kind of task you are interested in. So if you're interested in like detection, tracking, prediction, for each of them, there are baseline models which I can point you to as well, where you can take those baseline models, you can fiddle around with it, you can make certain architecture changes, you can tune certain hyperparameters, and then you can run it on the test set and see how that turns out. And yeah, it's a very exciting, I think it's a very nice hands-on way to get into machine learning, into deep learning for autonomous driving. So yeah, I think all of them would be pretty suited for beginners, depending on the interest in terms of which task the person is interested in.
Okay, so it's a challenge for all the beginners here who want to do something new. Check it out.